How y'all doing? It's December 5th, about 10 to 4, coming to you from La Push, Washington, out here on the Great Olympic Peninsula. Um, like yesterday when I said that short clip that I'd be right back, well, it's the next day, the next afternoon, whatever. I just wanted to let everybody know that, with what TJ and Grandma Pam did there yesterday, going out and getting together and doing something that they haven't done for so many years, going out and running the back roads here in Western Washington and taking a Roosevelt elk together, on their 30th year anniversary. That's just something that is absolutely magical, and for me to be a part of it, helping him, quarter it up, get it hung up, just being a part of that is awesome. A lot's happened since that last little clip that I put up, TJ gave us some back straps, some tenderloins, and a roast, which Sweet Tea and I made the back straps and the tender bits last night, with some potatoes. But it was something cool to be a part of. It's good to, help out any way that I can. Was it a bowl? No. But that doesn't matter. It's about coming together as a couple for them and running around on their 30th year anniversary and successfully taking on a Roosevelt elk. After that, I came back here and come back to the den and kind of I worked out, ended up going up to fire training. We did dress downs, which I need to pick my time up on that. I think that's something, I've only done it a handful of times, and I feel that, it's just repetition. Just keep doing it, and it'll fall into place. I kind of wanted to share a couple stories today. One, since it is Christmas and we put up the Christmas tree here a couple days ago, I got one that's kind of funny. My son Blake was just a kid. He was just a baby. I think he was only a couple years old. And his mom worked at a restaurant. She was a waitress. And I worked in the woods. Well, one weekend, it was like a Saturday. And it was December. Blake's mom didn't want me to buy a Christmas tree. She wanted me to go out into the forest and cut one down. So I got together with my brother-in-law, which is an awesome man, and we took off. He knew there was of a unit that they planted. Oh no, I don't even know if I'm supposed to be talking about this. Anyways, there was a unit that they had planted noble firs in. So I don't know if I should be telling this story because I don't know if it's okay to go out and cut down Christmas trees. But that was our, that's kind of a tradition that we've kind of done out here on the Olympic Peninsula. So anyways, we go out. I hope we don't get in trouble for this. We go out, we drive around, and we look for a tree, and we drove around for, I don't know, like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and we could not find the right tree. So I had told Chris, I said, well, screw it. Blake's mom doesn't want me to buy one. I said, let's go to Forks Outfitters, Thrifty Mart, sponsor, or hashtag not sponsored by Thrifty Mart or the Outfitters, part of Thrifty Mart, and we'll just buy a Christmas tree. So we end up coming off the mountain. We drive back to Forks, and we go to the store, and we end up purchasing a Christmas tree. Well, I had got home because it was a Saturday, like I said, and Amanda was at work, and Blake was at the babysitter's house. And I had put the Christmas tree up, in the stand, put some water in there, or put some water in it. And when Amanda got home, she was pretty excited. She's like, "Oh my gosh, that is like the most beautiful Christmas tree ever." And I said, "Yeah." And one thing that she noticed right off the bat, she was like, "What's up with the pink ribbon on top?" And I told her, I said, "Well, Chris and I were stopping, and I'd run up, or he'd run up, and we would tie ribbon on, the ones that had what's the word I'm looking for? That looked good, that had potential." And we decided that this one was the best one out of all the ones that we hung ribbon on. And she was like, "Oh, okay, right on." So I had her fooled. Well, like 3 days go by, like I said, like a Monday or Tuesday, I get home from work, and she was in cooking dinner. And I go in there like I used to always do, and I give her a kiss and ask her how her day was. And right off the bat, she goes, "Christopher, did you really go out and cut that tree down out in the woods?" And I said, "Well, yeah." And she's like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Well, I got down today after I got home from work and decided to put water in the tree stand, and I noticed there was a tag on it from the tree from where the tree was grown." And I thought, "Oh no. Are you kidding me?" Like, I didn't even notice it when I put water in there. I didn't even notice the tag that was down there. It was a blue, yeah. So, joke on me, She was a little upset that we'd spent money on a Christmas tree, but, it took a little stress off me running around trying to find one, So, technically, I can't get in trouble for saying that, because we technically didn't really cut a Christmas tree down. So, oh, yeah, reminiscing. That was funny, The look on her face was absolutely priceless. Um, Another story that I kind of wanted to tell was of a bull that I had shot. You see, Gary and I have known each other our whole lives, but we really didn't start hunting with each other till we had started working in the woods together. And I was tending hook for an outfit, and Gary was my rigging slinger, and we actually really became really good friends, and then we decided to start hunting with each other and pursuing some of the most beautiful North American animals out here on the Olympic Peninsula together. We kind of, it was a great bond. I mean, we still have that bond today. I mean, we have a great friendship, but make a long story short, he had been really hustling, he had been out there, more than I had been, and he had an idea of where there was a handful of bulls. They were in a couple different herds, and we were out there, and we were out there one day, and we had deer that we had previously shot in deer archery season that needed to be cut up. Well, Gary had dropped me and Mike off on a road system, and I told him I was going to go down through this canyon and then come up the other side. It was going to take some time, and have him pick me up on this other road, and he was all for it. Well, he ended up taking off to go cut up some of these deer, or start cutting up on them, because he knew that he would have enough time for what I had planned. It was quite the adventure. I mean, it was long distance. And so Mike and I, we weren't even out from the pickup for 15-20 minutes. And we walked through this clear cut, and we got down into the timber, and we were going along, and all of a sudden I look up in front of me, and I see this cow elk, and it's walking dead away from me, but she's kind of looking over her shoulder like she had seen us, and she went around this ridge and went out of sight. And I told Mike, I said, "Did you see that cow?" And he's like, "Yeah." I said, "Well, let's just kind of follow her." And Gary had seen a great big 7-point, big royal bull. There was a dark horn 5-point big bull that we had actually named George. And there were some other ragracks that we had laid eyes on. So, but they were all kind of split up. Well, at this moment in time, all those elk had come together. what was absolutely amazing, what I seen when I come around that ridge, um, in in the forest there. I had come around that ridge and I was following that cow, and I'd looked up in front of me, and there was that 7 point bull, locked horns with that big dark 5 point bull George, and they were going at it, and I could see some other elk, but it was dark, dense timber. And I had turned, something caught my eye, and I turned to my left, and I looked, and I could see another bull standing there, and he was about 40 yards away, and I could see, his, I could see part of his face, I could see his horn, um, I could see the front shoulder, and then a little bit of his butt, the way that the trees grew, in the forest there, and I had ranged it. It was 40 yards. I had knocked an arrow. I pulled back, got to full draw, and when I let my arrow go, I'd shot my arrow, and there was a little sapling tree in between me and that bull, and my arrow ended up hitting that sapling and shot my arrow to the right, complete miss. And when when that had happened, all the elk, they blew out of there. Um, and we're heading towards that road system that Mike and I we were intended to go to. So we got on the tracks and we kept going with them, and we must have tracked them for probably maybe a mile, and we had got on one ridge in the timber, and we looked at the other ridge, and the elk were coming up that ridge, and Mike had ranged the ridge over there, and it was 42 yards is what he ranged, and Mike went to pull back, and the first bull that come through there, he let off and then took a step to the right because he was going to try to shoot that bull. I had just stepped right into the spot that he was at because he had ranged it, and it was 42 yards, and I just got to full draw, and I was watching all these elk as they were single file running up the ridge, and I was looking, and I could see the first bull I seen that was legal, that was coming up in the pack there. I had a perfect shooting lane at 42 yards. I was in full draw, and as soon as that bull's head come out behind that tree, I had touched that arrow off. And as it come, as he came out into that shooting lane, my arrow just, fell right into him. And they all just kept going. And I sat there and I told Mike, I said, I had shot that bull. I'd seen my arrow disappear. And we had walked down across that draw and got up to that ridge to where that bull was at, and I ended up finding my arrow laying there full shaft, clear pass through on that bull, and I picked it up, put it in my quiver, and we got on the tracks, and we only went probably 15 yards, and we had started finding blood, and we kept following it. Well, that bull was still in the group, but there was enough elk that had already passed by that the blood trail wasn't coming up dry. We weren't losing it. Well, then it got to the point where that bull had split out of the pack, out of the herd, and we were in there looking for about an hour, and couldn't come up with this elk. So we ended up hiking out, we actually found a different road system that was in between where Gary had dropped us off to where we were going to be meeting at. And we ended up, no, wait, we hit that road up there, and Gary wasn't up there yet. We didn't have cell phone service. So when we came back down off the mountain and we started looking for that elk some more, then I found that other road system. Make a long story short, we ended up meeting up with Gary. I told Gary what I had going on. So we had parked, we got out, we walked in this other different road system into this area. And we were in there for about 20 minutes, and this was something that I didn't know. Like Gary, he has taught me a few things. One thing that I wasn't aware of is like when an elk's wounded, a lot of the times they'll get what they call a split toe, or their hooves ain't together, they're split, because they're sick. And and so I picked up on that. I was searching the forest floor, and I was looking for tracks, and I ended up getting on a split-toed track. And we were all of us were split up. And I'd followed that track, off from where the other elk went for probably 60 yards. And I got into some dog hair, and I looked up in front of me because it was a split-toed track like Gary was telling me. And I was following it, and all of a sudden I looked up in front of me about 20 yards. There was that bull laying there dead. And, it was, what ended up happening is the way they were running, and I had to judge that shot. Everything had to fall into place perfect because he was running. It was 42 yards. That's a poke. There's a lot can happen, and you got to time it just right. And I ended up hitting him a little far back. I hit liver, and he ended up having to fill up. He had to fill up with blood. And that's ended up what happened is he filled up with blood and had died. So that was absolutely awesome to I think that was only honestly the second bull elk I've killed with my bow at that time. And we had quartered it up, got it packed out, strapped to the top of Gary's 4Runner, and off to town we went. That was absolutely awesome. If anybody's watching this and they want to come out here and experience, hunting on the Olympic Peninsula, I really embrace getting a hold of GI, Gary Ite with GI's Guide Service. He has a lot of knowledge. He's not only a hunting guide, but he's a fishing guide also too. If you want to come out here and fish for steelhead, salmon, whatever it is, he's got drift boats, he's got a raft, he's been floating these rivers his whole life. Yeah, those are memories, those are memories that I'll never soon forget. Those are reasons why I get up in the morning and I go out and pursue North America's big game here on God's beautiful green earth. That's what it's all about. Besides that, I just wanted to share a couple stories with you guys. I really don't know. I'm not gonna have to do too much today. I've finished my workout. Got the fire going. Did a few dishes. I know what I gotta do. I gotta clean that roast up so we can do something with that tonight for dinner. But anyways, I don't know what else I really want to talk about. Gary, I was just informed that he didn't really hunt Roosevelt elk this year because in archery season because he went out of state hunting, but he still has his archery tag, and he was talking about he knows where there's a couple of legal bulls and he wants to go out and try to hunt one of them up here in the next few days, and like I told him, I said, well, if that's the case and you do that, I would love to go with you and be a part of that. That's something that I think both of us need to get together and go out and do. I'd love to try to get it on film. It's hard to do. You watch people that are making these videos, and they post them online, and it's harder than it looks. I'm not gonna lie. I tip my hat to anybody that can successfully get a bow shot on camera or a rifle shot on camera, because so many things got to fall into play to make that happen, and it's something that I feel, I've struggled with trying to be a hunter and trying to capture it on film, but I think, I'm learning more how to be more patient, and let those things fall into play and not try to rush anything. It's no different than like the dress drills or the dress downs that we did up there at the fire station last night. You just can't think about it. You just got to do it, and that's something that I think's fallen into place. Still need to get sweet tea. a bull elk before his season's over, and I hope that I can be a part of it. I hope I can be there, because like I said, that's something as me as a hunter is, it's really truly magical to be a part of something so amazing, But with that, I think I'm done. I got a few things that I need to do before I clean that roast up. But I want y'all to know that, do what makes you happy. Don't worry about what other people think or say about you. They don't matter. In the end, you matter. And with that, I'm out.